The halls of Jefferson High echoed with the sound of sneakers squeaking and lockers slamming. Among the noise and chaos, an old man moved slowly with his mop and bucket. Most students barely noticed him. He was just the janitor. His name was Harold. His gray beard was always trimmed. His cap was always slightly tilted, and his eyes, though tired, held something kind and quiet. No one asked him questions. No one cared where he went after school. No one knew anything about him. Except maybe one girl. Talia was a quiet student, always sitting in the front of the class, always early, always tired. She wore the same jacket every day, carried books that were taped together at the spine, and had a look of determination far beyond her years. She was 17 in her final year, and already juggling 2 part-time jobs to help her single mother pay rent. She never asked for help, but she noticed things, especially Harold. Every morning, as early as the sun came up, Talia would find Harold already mopping the entrance. Sometimes she'd hand him a coffee if she had an extra $1. Sometimes he'd nod in thanks and pass her a protein bar from his lunchbox. They never had long conversations, but there was something gentle in their silent exchanges. A kind of understanding between 2 people the world often overlooked. One evening, Talia stayed late finishing a scholarship application in the library. She walked past the janitor's room and heard Harold coughing violently. She paused, knocked softly, and opened the door. He was sitting on a metal chair, holding his chest dot. "Do you need help?" she asked gently. He waved her off, but couldn't hide the struggle. She insisted on calling a nurse. He begged her not to. "Please," he whispered. "I can't afford to miss work. They'll replace me." That night, Talia stayed by the door until he caught his breath. She left quietly, but couldn't stop thinking about him. Over the next few months, she started checking on him more often. She'd ask if he needed anything. He never asked for much, just that she keep working hard in school. He always said, "You've got something, girl. Don't let this world take it from you." Graduation came fast. Talia wore a borrowed gown. Her mother cheered the loudest, but there was no money for college. Even with her straight A's, even with her dreams of becoming a doctor, she knew the doors would be hard to open. She worked in a diner during the day, cleaned houses on weekends, and took care of her younger siblings while her mother did night shifts. College looked more like a fantasy than a future dot, and one morning, an envelope arrived in their mailbox. It had no return address, just her name and a full scholarship letter. Tuition paid, books covered, housing included. It looked official. It looked too good to be real. She called the university. They confirmed it. Someone had anonymously donated a full scholarship in her name. Talia cried for hours. She couldn't believe it. She asked everyone she knew. No one admitted to it. Eventually, she gave up trying to solve the mystery and simply said thank you every night before bed to whoever it was. College was hard, but Talia pushed through. Every time she felt like giving up, she remembered the old man with the mop who told her not to let the world take her light. She graduated with honors, went on to med school, and finally became Dr. Talia Monroe, a pediatric surgeon. 10 years passed. She had her own apartment, a decent car, and she volunteered on weekends at a shelter for homeless teens. She never stopped thinking about the scholarship. Who had seen her? Who had cared enough? One day, she was invited to speak at a local high school about her journey. She accepted. When she arrived, she recognized the halls instantly. It was Jefferson High. The walls had fresh paint, but the floors looked the same. As she walked in, her heart tightened. She asked if Harold still worked there. The receptionist blinked. "Harold? You mean Mr. Whitmore?" "Oh no, honey. He passed away 5 years ago." Talia froze. Passed away? She hadn't even known. Her knees weakened. She asked if anyone knew where he was buried. They gave her directions to a small cemetery outside town. That evening, she drove there with flowers. She found his grave under a maple tree. The stone read, Harold Whitmore, 1948 to 2015, kindness, never. Needs recognition. She knelt beside the grave, tears spilling silently. The next day, something strange happened. A lawyer contacted her. He introduced himself as the executor of Harold Whitmore's will. Talia was confused. I think you deserve to know the truth, he said. 10 years ago, Harold started a fund. Every month, he deposited nearly all his salary into it. He lived in a trailer, ate the same meals every day, and saved everything he could. He told me he had only one goal, to put a certain girl through college. He said she had fire in her eyes and carried more weight than a teenager should. He didn't want recognition. He just wanted her to get a chance. Talia's heart broke and soared all at once. There's more, the lawyer continued. Before he died, he left another fund for medical school. And now that you're a doctor, there's still something left. He handed her a letter. It was handwritten, shaky dot, Dear Talia. If you're reading this, you made it. I always knew you would. You reminded me of my own daughter, lost too young. I couldn't save her, but maybe I could help you. Never forget what you are capable of. Love, Harold. Talia spent hours at his grave. She brought her white coat, her stethoscope, and placed them gently on the headstone. You helped save every life I've touched, she whispered. This coat belongs to both of us. That week, she made a decision. She started the Whitmore Foundation, a scholarship for students with dreams, but no resources. She visited her old school again and announced the first recipient, a girl just like her, quiet, bright, determined. The cycle would continue. In her apartment, framed on the wall, was a photo of Harold. She had tracked down an old yearbook and found his staff picture. She looked at it every morning before work. You gave when you had nothing, she'd say aloud. Now I'll give because I have everything. Years later, a journalist caught wind of her story. The headline read, Doctor honors late janitor who secretly funded her dreams. The article went viral. Donations flooded in. The Whitmore Foundation grew. But Talia never changed the way she lived. She still bought her clothes from thrift shops, still volunteered, still carried protein bars in her bag, just in case she met someone who needed one. One rainy afternoon, a teenage boy came into her clinic. He had a busted lip, a bruised rib, and eyes that had seen too much too soon. She cleaned. His wound offered him food and asked where he lived. Nowhere, he said quietly. Not anymore. She handed him a card. It had the Whitmore Foundation's number. You've got something in you, she said. Don't let this world take it from you. He looked at her and smiled faintly, the same way she once looked at an old janitor who believed in her when no one else did. And so the story kept moving forward, one quiet act of kindness at a time. No medals, no applause. Just one life reaching back for another, pulling it forward until the whole world began to shift.